Oh, hello. For the second time today, a video about Kill Team Hivestorm. This time, I'm coming at you after the Games Workshop reveal stream and Warcom article to give you my analysis of everything we know about Kill Team Hivestorm and the next edition of Kill Team. And we're going to start with the core changes to the terrain. So this is some interesting stuff. We have a whole new set of terrain, which is called Kill Zone Volcus. It's pretty similar to Kill Zone Vertigus. If you've ever played at Warhammer World, you'll know that they have an unofficial extra kill zone called Kill Zone Vertigus, using this Vertigus terrain. Now, this building here, with a laser pointer, is the same as this building here. They've just painted it in different colours. Okay, this building here, okay, with a door there and a little coal scuttle hatch there and a round thing there, is the same as this building here. Okay, if we look up here on the big map, this L-shaped corner ruin here with three dilapidated windows, two dilapidated windows there and a dilapidated window here, is this L-shaped ruin here. Okay, yeah, and this little bit here, okay, see that little bit there? Alright, that's this little bit here. So, what are we getting? We're getting some bits of Killzone Vertigus, so these sort of two smaller buildings that aren't full squares, right, that are a big corner bit and a little corner bit, a big corner bit and a little corner bit. Those are existing kits. And then adding on to those as brand new kits, we've got the two central big tower things, right, so with an extra story on, right, so this up here is this thing, and this in the centre here is this thing. So the good news here is if you are trying to build a 40k table and you already have Killzone, or not Killzone, but if you already have this Vertigus terrain pack, this stuff will blend right in with that because a lot of it is the same. There's also some new scatter, right, little ruined wally sections and things like that. Now, I like this, yeah. I was suggesting for a while that the ruins were actually going to have bases to make them really clearly defined where they were, because I think we might be moving to a 40k style line of sight thing where, you know, if you're inside the ruin, then you have line of sight outside the ruin and people have line of sight on you, but you have the benefit of cover if someone's shooting from outside the ruin. But if you're, say, I'll just use, this is just my hypothesis, this isn't necessarily true. Okay, this is just what I think they should do. So I think if you are here, right, then you should be totally obscured to anybody that is trying to shoot you from here. Right, so this can't shoot this point because there's this huge building in the way, but you should be able to shoot into the building, and people in the building should be able to shoot out of the building, but the people in the building should have cover. But you shouldn't have cover from them. It is the way I would work it, right, for heavy terrain structures. Now, they haven't given them bases, but they have clearly laid them out into four squares. This is how you would lay out these ruins if you're going to play 40k with them. So each ruin has a clearly defined footprint, right? So even the ones that are, so obviously with these two that actually form complete squares that are new, it's obvious. But even with these ones, you can just sort of join the gaps up. Right, they've been placed in the photograph in such a way that they form squares, right? So maybe they've done that. I like these things. I think they look really functional. They look really cool. I'm going to enjoy using them. Yeah, positive. Think I'm going to paint mine in a sort of sandstone desert kind of vibe, and use one of the older Kill Team boards with the from last season with the sort of desert aesthetic to it. But yeah, I think they look really cool. Some people on my Discord were asking if they thought this map looked like it was paper or cardboard. Really hard to see because of the way they photoshopped the side of it, so it's sort of floating in space. So don't know if they've downgraded us to a paper map. That kind of sucks, but then again, I have so many cardboard Kill Team mats from back since Kill Team 2018 that that's not a huge problem for me, but it does kind of suck for other people, right? Kill Team accessories pack. So this is included in the box, but will ultimately be available as a separate purpose. So we've got more barricades. Now, one thing that has been noticed is if you really want to look at these barricades, if you zoom in there, the barricades have got little ledges on them. So these barricades are better because they won't fall down. You can see that there, okay? Now, we've got new movement tools. You notice movement tools have numbers on, so 1, 3, 2, and 6. They're obviously the same size as the old movement tools, but they've clearly done away with the colours and shapes, which I think is kind of sad because I'm going to have to reprogram my brain to remember that red is the same thing as 6, which is obviously very hard, right? Good. And it seems from what was said in the show that there's such a thing called generic equipment. So some of this stuff, you've got barbed wire, you've got concrete walls, you've got these little mantlets, different kinds of grenades, smoke grenades, some kind of gas grenade. These look like markers to show who's got a frag, who's got a crack, who's got a melter, who's got a fusion grenade. This looks like a telescopic ladder, so this is its little small way, and then you deploy it, and then it pops out into a big ladder. So it looks like there'll be things that you can take other than the barricades in your in your game. These generics, these ammo dumps, clearly going to do something as well. Minefields, they might do something as well. Some kind of radio might do something. So you're going to be able to take things other than barricades. And I'm guessing like you're going to take these in every mode of play. You're going to have a certain budget that you can spend on equipment like this, whether that's part of the same pool as your regular equipment, I don't know. It'd be interesting if everybody has access to smoke grenades, everybody has access to plasma grenades, everybody has access to melter bombs, and they're in the generic equipment list, and use these little tokens to represent those. That'd be quite cool. We'll see. But yeah, this is pretty fun. I'm liking the idea of a generic equipment list. It solves a lot of problems, a lot of disparity. If everybody can have a smoke grenades can be a really core part of the game. If everybody can have a portable ladder that they can extend, then that can be a core part of the game. We don't have to worry so much about different teams needing different kinds of setup on the table. So that's good. That's good. Then we got a new set of approved ops, right? So a new approved ops pack is coming, so our objectives are all going to change. Warcom says, this is also where you'll find all of your tech ops, mission cards and map keys, along with handy leaflets laying out 6 different terrain layouts for kill zones, Vulcus, Gallowdark and Beta Decima. So what that says to me, first of all, the Gallowdark and Beta Decima are going to continue to be supported in the new edition, but I think your terrain sets from Season 1 of Kill Team, so your Octarius, Chalnath, Morok and the other one, Nakmand, those I'm guessing aren't going to be, like, I'm sure you can still use them, but there's going to be official maps for the new terrain for Vulcus, and there's also going to be obviously official maps still for Gallowdark and Beta Decima. Hopefully these maps are good and people actually use them, and we don't need a community map pack to be created. That would be amazing. Yeah, so it looks like finally my Octarius terrain can rest, right? I'll probably donate it to my school Warhammer Club. Maybe I'll donate some of my Morok terrain as well. Might keep me. It's what I want to keep for 40k and what I want to get rid of. But I certainly don't need Orc terrain in my life. Orcs suck. So that we get rid of those. And yeah, get the new Vulcus terrain painted up and ready to go. That'll be great. And having like 6 official map layouts to lay it out on sounds really cool to me. And hopefully it can build out into a nice board for 40k or Horus Heresy, things like that as well, if they keep producing it in all the sets. Don't know if they're going to do big boxes or if they're going to do like Season 3 little boxes going forwards after this first big box, not sure. But yeah, so that's a nice thing about map packs. Looking at these token packs, have changed the shape of the tokens, but they seem broadly the same tokens, right? You got engage, and conceal, so that's fine. And then we've got an array of little smaller tokens, plus and minus 1 for action points. Some cardboard movement tools, which is pretty cool because you only get one set of the plastic movement tools in the set. So if you're playing against a friend, you can use your plastic ones, and if you're teaching somebody new, they can have their own cardboard ones that they can use. Interestingly, there seems to be 3 objective markers, not 6, so that's might be a change, I'm not sure, in the rules there, the missions and stuff. But yeah, so the tokens look interesting. Obviously, tokens and all this is such a big marketplace. When they got new tokens, it won't be long before you can buy new acrylic tokens as well to supplement these as well, if that's what you want to do. Right, core changes, general rules. So these are mostly things that were said during the stream. Retaining the same core concept of having a core book in the box and also a separate book, just like we have with the last edition of Kill Team. So this is the Hivestorm book. It's going to have the rules for the Vespid and the rules for the Scions. But they've also said that all the rules for the teams will be online from day one for free and kept updated as a living document. So it just remains to be seen how they're going to do that. It would be really cool if it was some kind of app, right? It would be middlingly cool if it was something web-based, like the Kill Team Battle Kit, right? And then bottom tier, and the option they'll probably go for will be what they have now, which is hordes and hordes of PDFs, which is just less useful, right? So we'll see how that comes out. They're also going to sell card packs. Obviously, if the rules are free, the card packs are going to have to be reasonably priced, because there's nothing then legally stopping someone from making their own card packs and selling them. You know what I mean? If the rules are already free, so you're going to buy their in-house card packs, they're going to need to be reasonably competitively priced. Whether or not I want to collect all the card packs for all my teams is really going to depend on how useful and how usable the digital rules are and how they're laid out. If they're just PDFs, maybe I want some cards, but maybe not necessarily the official cards. That'll be an interesting one. Okay. Most missions, it said, are going to use this kill op rule and to be able to score points for killing. So this says, kill op, you start without a kill grade. As enemy operatives incapacitated, your kill grade goes up until it reaches 5. Whenever you move to a new kill grade, you score 1 VP. At the end of the 4th turning point, if your kill grade is higher than your opponent, you score 1 VP. The table below shows how many enemy operatives must be incapacitated to reach each kill grade. The row you use is determined by the starting number of enemy operatives. So it looks like this is starting number of enemy operatives: 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So again, it looks like 14 is the maximum, so Vet Guard have 14. And 5 is the minimum, so maybe we're getting a 5-man kill team somewhere along the road. And then, so to get to kill grade 1, you kill 1. To get to kill grade 2, it's hard to see, it's a bit blurry. Is that a 2 or a 3? But you see how it's going to work. You, depending on how their starting point is the number you have to kill to get a kill point, basically. So there are now going to be 6 VP available for killing, which possibly makes some sense as to why there's only going to be 3 objectives. They have said the language is going to be updated in the rulebooks to be less technical and more understandable, and then they're going to have an advanced rules section as well. So it sounds to me like it's going to be like the 40k rulebook, where, you know, they explain it in layman's terms, and then in a box they have the legalistic version of the same explanation if you're someone that needs that because you've run into a weird situation where you need that kind of precise language that a lot of people find difficult to pass. So if they've pulled that off, it will be good, because a lot of people dislike the way that Kill Team is written from a not what the rules say perspective, but from how what the rules say is communicated perspective. So that's quite good. They also said that the game will include more options for solo and co-op play, which is pretty interesting. I could see myself doing like a live stream one day where it's like, I'm going to hang out on the live stream and also play solo Kill Team, and sort of, that might be quite funny. And they've said there's going to be more supplements for the solo and co-op modes coming out for free online as time goes on. And the other bit of core rules that we saw was to do with the scouting step. So I've had to kind of look at a couple of different screenshots here of these cards to get what these say. They say basically the options have changed. So you now have option 1, which is equip. Select one additional equipment option. It cannot be an option you've already selected. So I'm presuming, I don't know. It doesn't talk about EP. Okay. I'm assuming that the new equipment option, it refers to these things. So it's like, I'm going to take a ladder. I'm going to take a radio. I'm going to take a smoke grenade or whatever that might be, right? I don't think it refers to your team's equipment, or maybe it's either or. Not sure. For number 2, you can have a ploy. So during the first strategy phase, use strategic ploy for 0 CP. So this is a different way of going about it. So the first one, equip, kind of replaces fortify, right? Because obviously the little barricade is one of those options for equipment. So you could use it for fortify, or you could use it to get a ladder or whatever else, right? Whereas the ploy one is quite different from the the infiltrate one, where you could change from conceal to engage. So this is effectively giving you a CP, or during the first strategy phase, use a strategy ploy for 1 CP. It's boiling my noggin that they're called strategy ploys and not strategic ploys, and I'm going to have to unlearn that, which is annoying me. And then we've got reposition, which says perform a free reposition action with a friendly operative that's wholly within your drop zone. It must finish that action within 3 of your drop zone, which sounds like a long way of saying make a dash. I don't know if dash is going to be called reposition. It's going to work slightly differently. But yeah, so essentially dashes stay the same. Fortify can also probably be any of the other things that you can now pick from instead of a barricade. And ploy replaces swapping conceal to engage, which is interesting. Okay, and that's all the generic updates I could find. So let's look at the Tempestus Aquilons. So this is going to be 11 models in the box, right? So 10 infantry plus the servo sentry. And we've got the Tempestor, which we've seen with the power sword and hell pistol, the gunfighter with dual hell pistols, the precursor, who has a knife and a hell pistol, the grenadier, who has a melter bomb and a hell pistol, marksman with what looks like a hellgun sniper rifle thing, the gunner with a melter weapon. Now, not shown on Warcom, but in the video we do see a gunner with a plasma as well. Okay, the servo sentry that can have a hotshot volley gun, a grenade launcher, or a flamer. Be really interesting to see if they've made flamers worthwhile, worth considering, right? No information there. And then these troopers that you've already seen in this morning's video, but now you can see that they say trooper instead of soldat at the top, so that's good. So some things they did say about the Tempestus Aquilons. So their big special rule is going to be drop insertion. You can set up 2/3 of your team off the table, right? So essentially it's a deep strike-like mechanic. And then you have drop markers that look like they're going to work like Gene Stealer Cult Blips. So you're going to have more drop markers than you need. So the idea is that some of them you don't need to use. And you can move these around to kind of bluff your opponent and hold them back from certain areas and try and fake them out. As far as I could. He wasn't turbo precise in how he described it, but that's the best I can kind of work out what he was talking about. He also said that the precursor can drop down directly into close combat. Okay, so that's this lady with the knife. Okay, so she can drop down directly into close combat, which none of the others are allowed to do. And she can hit with 2 dice before your opponent can resolve 1. That's pretty cool. The Grenadier comes with smoke, stun, and melter bombs. Presumably, like all Grenadiers, he just comes with them for free, right? The Gunfighter, which was the double pistols guy, he can shoot 2 targets and also shoot in melee, like I guessed. The Servo Sentry can shoot twice. So that's pretty cool. It's 11 models, but I'm not sure how many are going to be in a team, whether you're going to get to take all 4 of those generic troopers or whether you'll have some other combination of options. It does also say, from Warcom, Aquilons are equipped with finely wrought carapace armour, so that'd be a 4-up save, and armed primarily with hot-shot las weapons, most commonly hot-shot las carbines that hit strong, harder than a standard Imperial las gun. Their preferred strategy of dropping right into the middle of enemy lines requires intense close-quarters training, leading many units to deploy specialist arms with melter carbines, plasma carbines, and other short-range weapons. So this is a melter carbine. I mean, a melter gun is always range red or 6, as we now have to train ourselves into saying. I want my colours back. Fine. Melter carbine, melter gun, already range 6. So, is a plasma carbine going to be a range 6 plasma? Don't know how that's going to work. It would be silly, because a range 6 plasma, why would you ever take it? You take the melter. But the fact they've said and other short-range weapons, and they've called them out as plasma carbines and melter carbines, it's just interesting and gives me a little bit of pause for thought there. We'll look at the Vespid Stingwings. So we got a long sting, who's some kind of sniper guy, right? The Swarm Guard, I think he's the one with the flamethrower. Looks really similar to the grenade launcher fellow, right? They look very similar. Skyben, I think this is the flamethrower one because it's got the little bucket on the bottom. And this is the grenade launcher one, I think, right? Shade Strain, who has got like half a stealth suit on his face. The Strain Leader with his brainwashing hat, right? And then we've got five warriors, right? So again, if this is a 10-man team, you're going to be forced to take 5 warriors. Is that what it's going to do? Could be. Could be that's the way we're going now with Kill Team, where teams have less specialists and more warriors, or it could be that this isn't going to be a 10-man team and it's showing us 10 models because they want to sell them as for 40k, but it's actually going to be like a 6-man squad. Don't know. You also get a little oversight drone that flies around, and that is your off battlefield edge commander, tower commander, kind of telling people what to do, okay, and stopping them from just gribbling around and behaving like a hive mind. So, Vespid can all fly, which implies certainly that the Scions can't all fly. They have grav shoots that work like grav shoots, right? But they were said to be, the Vespid were said to be glass cannons that can't take many hits. They're going to probably have an armor value of 5 up, and maybe only 7 or 8 wounds. Now, the basic neutron weapons, remember I said in my previous video today, how are they going to do neutron weapons? Because neutron weapons in 40k are quite good, and yet they're the Billy basic weapon of the Vespid. So they're powered by crystals, which they've said are charged by the flapping of the Vespid wings. So in a turn in which you move, your gun is more powerful. I'm wondering if that's going to be cheesable, if it's going to be a case of, well, I do a move action and move 1/100th of an inch, right? Yeah, you're still spending the action point, but I wonder if you're actually going to have to move to power up your gun. Like, you're going to have to move a minimum of so many inches from point A to point B, or whether it's just do a move action, right? We'll see. Communion points. So you have a limited pool of communion points which represent the tower commander micromanaging the silly Vespid off the field, right? So the idea is Vespid are quite kind of animally, and they just want to like swarm people and murder, and it's the Tau off-site commander guy sort of ordering them about that lets them do useful things like mission actions. So you have to spend a communion point every time you want to do an action other than shoot or charge the nearest target, which is a downside. If I was guessing that the oversight drone probably lets you do one of those kinds of actions for free within a certain radius of the drone. I'm guessing that's what the rule will be for that. Then you've got your Shade Strain. So the Shade Strain can turn invisible. This is the guy with the stealth suit stuff bolted to him. He can't be targeted if you're more than 6 inches away. And he has a neutron grenade. The Swarm Guard has a Tau Flamer, which is said to be able to like fire in lines of fire that stay on the table. Reminds me of the rules the Helldrake had at one point in 40k, remember that. And then there's the Sky Blast, which is a grenade launcher, and the grenades leave patches of radioactive fallout, which is pretty cool. That is just about everything, okay? So the pre-order goes live in September. The release date is in October, right? They did say that as well. How are you feeling about this? I'm pretty excited. I'm really excited to get the... You know, I'm definitely going to pick it up, not just because I have like the channel would make me have to pick it up anyway, but it's going to be the best value way to get the terrain, the accessories, and the cards. And I'm almost more excited about those than I am about the 2 teams in the box. I mean, I might get around to painting the Scions. Mrs. TI claims she might want to paint the Vespid, but I'm really excited about the terrain, the cards, the new rules, the new way to play. You know, solo cup, all that stuff, all the new edition core rules type stuff. Far more excited about that than I am about the new teams, but definitely going to pick up the box because picking up all those bits, the rulebook, the cards, the accessory pack separately is going to be a real pain in the backside. So that's my read on it. If you are going to pre-order Operation Hivestorm or Kill Team Hivestorm, whatever it's called, please consider pre-ordering it from my Element Games link in the description, please and thank you. A big thank you to all my channel members. If you are a channel member, don't forget to vote in the Tell Mr. TI What to Do painting contest thing. The link for that is on the Discord. If you can't find it, just drop me a message in the members chat room or DM me and I'll help you out with finding it. And if you aren't a member and you're able to, please consider it. And if you aren't subscribed, one of the most helpful things that you can do if you found this video a useful breakdown for you is to subscribe, get that subscriber number up. It's only, as far as I'm aware, it's only by increasing the subscriber number that we might be noticed by Games Workshop and sent some early stuff to review. That would be really cool, wouldn't it? So please do consider subscribing if you're at all able to do so. It doesn't cost you anything. Alright guys, thank you so much. 2 videos in one day. And for those of you who are members, you know, I've made a 3rd video today, which will release on Tuesday. So basically all I've done with my Saturday is sit here and make videos, which is fine. You know, it's what I wanted to do. It's what I was excited to do after my holiday. So I hope you've enjoyed those all, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye, cheery bye, bye-bye, goodbye, bye.